Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Pod Save Chocolate. My name is Clay Gordon. I'm your host today, and this is a pre-recorded episode, something that I rarely do here on Pod Save Chocolate. On Tuesday, which is the 19th of November, I'm going to be on my way to Chicago for the inaugural Midwest Craft Chocolate Festival. And so I'm putting together this episode so that to do a little bit of preview so that you get an idea of what it is that I may be doing over the next couple of days. I'm also going to be traveling over the course of the next couple of weeks for the festival and then for the Thanksgiving holiday. And so I'm not going to be in places where I'm going to be able to do regular episodes, and I didn't want to miss an extra one. And so with that, while I would normally at this point ask everybody to go into the comments and let me know where in the world you're connecting from, I'm not here to respond to the comments. But what I do want to say is that for every episode of the Pod Save Chocolate, what I do is I create a post on The Chocolate Life. So here is the homepage of The Chocolate Life. And here is the post I'm in the process of creating. I'm sorry. Oh no, where am I going? Here's the post I'm in the process of creating. You can see that I'm doing this sort of live, even though I'm not doing it live. Here's the post I'm in the middle of creating. The reason why I'm in the middle of creating it is because I want to add the links to watch this episode before I post the episode, if that makes kind of sense. But in any event, I'm going through. If you're not currently a member of The Chocolate Life, you can go and you can click on this green account button or green join button, and you can become a member. There's a free member. And if you're watching this, like, share, subscribe, do all the kinds of things to help grow the Pod Save Chocolate community on YouTube. And with that, I am really excited to be a part of this festival. Those of you who've been following The Chocolate Life know that for the last couple of years, I've been working with Dustin Cornett, who is the founder of the Craft Chocolate Challenge, and I've been a judge for that competition. And he recently moved from where he was in rural Kentucky to Rushville, Indiana, which is roughly sort of in the middle of a triangle, which is bounded by Indianapolis, Indiana, Cincinnati, and Dayton, Ohio. So somewhere sort of in the middle of all those places. He moved to Rushville and went to the town and said, hey, let's do a craft chocolate festival. And they said yes. Now, I have been involved in putting together chocolate festivals from scratch. I was involved in the Big Chocolate Festival in New York City, worked on the first 3 editions of that. And so I have a little taste of what it takes to put something like that together. In a new location, you need to find the location, you need to find sponsors, you need to find exhibitors, you need to find presenters, you need to find volunteer, you need to find all kinds of providers of services. It's a massive undertaking. And this is a relatively small town in the middle of, I won't say in the middle of nowhere, but it is off the beaten path, let's say, in Indiana. I'm excited to be there. I'm excited for what it is that Dustin is doing and his commitment and as a chocolate maker to increase engagement around craft chocolate through the challenge and now through the festival. So I'm really excited. So here's the page I'm working on. Here's the post that I am working on for the episode. And if you're watching this, I will have already updated and posted this on The Chocolate Life. But because I normally post the YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook links on the page, I haven't done that yet, and I need to wait until I upload it. It's complicated, but in any event. So I am really excited, as I say, to be a part of this. And I'm really excited to be able to say that Cocoa Supply, who is a supporter of The Chocolate Life, is in fact the presenting sponsor of this event. So even though the festival is primarily focused on consumers, not necessarily makers, but it is focused on consumers. Nonetheless, Cocoa Supply is the presenting sponsor of this, and I want to thank them very, very much for their support, not only of The Chocolate Life, but also of this festival. I think it's really, really important for them. So there is a link to the Midwest Craft Chocolate Festival website on the homepage. Here it is. There's a link to the Cocoa Supply US website, also on the homepage. And from the US website, you can get to the EU and Australian websites. which is cool. And then there's a link to the collab page on The Chocolate Life, so you can learn a little bit more about what Cocoa Supply does on The Chocolate Life. Now, one thing that is crazy about this trip is that I am connecting to Rushville through Chicago. And one of the reasons for trying to make that connection in Chicago as opposed to someplace else is that Kjell from Fjorden in Norway is going to be flying into Chicago. And so I'm going to be there at international arrivals when he shows up on Wednesday. I'm going in a day early and visiting with colleagues on Tuesday afternoon, and going to the airport again on Wednesday morning to meet with Kjell. And then we're going to be driving down from Chicago to Rushville, which is going to be the first time I've ever met Kjell. And, so even though I've tasted his chocolate at the Craft Chocolate Challenge, even though we've spent some time conversing on video calls like this is going to be the first time we've actually had an opportunity to meet in person. And we're going to spend 4 hours in a car, 4.5 hours in that first meet. So that's going to be a pretty special time. I've actually also never met Dustin in person. And so this is going to be, I don't think I have. Anyway, and this is going to be the first time we're going to have an opportunity to meet in person. So I'm really excited about those things as well. I'm hoping that there will be some time over the course of the weekend. We do have some time free, maybe be able to get down to Cincinnati and meet with Paul Picton of Maverick Chocolate in Cincinnati. I'm not necessarily looking forward to ice cream because it's going to be like sub-freezing weather for quite a bit of the time that we were there. I mean, I thought it was cold here in Prescott, Arizona. It is cold. It was like -5 degrees when I woke up, centigrade, when I woke up this morning. And there are the possibility of showers and snow in Rushville over the weekend. So that's going to make things very, very interesting. But nonetheless, looking forward to being in Chicago. Haven't been there for about 18 months. So looking forward to getting to Cocoa and Company, which is in Old Town, which is a shop where you can go buy hot chocolate and things like that. One of the better shops in Chicago. Maybe have an opportunity to go to do some other things with my friends and colleagues. Not entirely sure, but I am looking forward to picking up, meeting Kjell at the airport when we get there. All right. So what I have done on the page is here is the rough schedule of events. I mean, looking at this schedule of events for a first-time festival in a small town, I mean, the organizers, Dustin and his crew, and the advisory committee and everybody at Visit Rushville and everybody in the town that's been a part of this and supporting this has done a really, really good job at putting things together. I am honored to be a part of the group of people who's going to be there. I am going to be giving the opening remarks. I've been asked to do that. I'm also going to be doing an AMA on Friday afternoon. We're going to see Chocolate 101 for people who don't know much about chocolate, don't know much about craft chocolate, doing an AMA. I remember being at the Dallas Chocolate Festival for the first year when it was still in Addison, Texas. And I hosted two AMA sessions while I was there. It's really a fun opportunity to be able to address concerns that a really sophisticated or knowledgeable audience doesn't have. So an AMA at a place like Chocoa or at the Salon du Chocolat in Paris is going to be different from an AMA at a place like the Midwest Craft Chocolate Festival. And so I'm really, really excited to do that. We have somebody else coming from Arizona. So Tandy Peterson from Embers Chocolate, who has been a part of the Craft Chocolate Challenge in the past, is going to be there. We have Cesar Aguiar from Cacaitos. He's from Colombia, but is in Canada at the moment. Fjorden, right? Kjell from Fjorden, coming from Norway. We also have Elmer Pineda, who from Yohoa Chocolate in Honduras. And I've done an interview and tasting with Elmer here on The Chocolate Life in an episode of Pod Save Chocolate. So also we've got Nettie Atkinson, who's doing some presentations. And then we also have David Nilsson, who operates the Bean to Barstool podcast. We'll be doing something with chocolate and beer and spirits. So a collaboration and commonality tasting. So I'm hoping it will be a tasting. But I'm looking forward to participating in that. And so it's a really, really interesting mix that I think does a good job of representing not only the local community, There'll be people, craft chocolate makers and confectioners from Chicago, from Kansas City, from Cincinnati, and from Michigan, as I understand, in addition to outside of Dayton, Ohio, as well as the international exhibitors are going to be there. So I think it's a really, really, really good introduction for people there. If you're in the area, for some reason you want to go there, there is a link here on this card for the craft chocolate for the festival where you can purchase tickets. So all this info is there. You've got the schedule of events. You can download the full program here. There's a list of the vendors. So it's a good. So Fjorden, Chocolat Cafe is Dustin's business in Rushville. Maverick is coming up from Cincinnati. Encore is coming from Kansas City. People may know Mike King, who is a regular listener to episodes of Pod Save Chocolate and has been, as I say, a contestant, a participant, an entrant in the Craft Chocolate Challenge, and then a bunch of companies that I'm not familiar with. And so I'm looking forward to having an opportunity to meet with some chocolate makers that I've never had the opportunity to meet with before and to taste their work. And that includes Mayan Harvest, Yellowbird, Chocolate Thunder. These are chocolate makers and confectioners. Chalks and Boxes, I believe, is in Chicago. I've done a tasting with Cacaitos. I believe we've done it live. Looking forward to seeing Elmer again. Embers, right from here, actually from Phoenix area. Sweet Bean, Lumino. So, this is going to be really, really fun for me. I think it represents a really, really good opportunity for people to get a good cross-section of craft chocolate and confections and understand how the community comes together and supports itself, and have an opportunity in a relatively intimate setting without necessarily thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are going to be there. So there's an opportunity for the exhibitors to engage with participants and the participants to engage with the exhibitors and with the presenters over the course of the weekend. So I'm really, really excited about the opportunity. In case you couldn't tell, I was really excited about the opportunity to participate here. I just also have to give props to Dustin and his team. I mean, there aren't a whole lot of options for hotel accommodations in Rushville proper. There's a town up the road, Greensburg, I think it is, where there are some hotels, but there's nothing really in Rushville. And certainly nothing of a size that would host the number of people who are coming into town. And so one of the things that they've done is they've arranged homestays. And I'm really, really excited to have the opportunity to be staying in an historic home, the Wendell Willkie House. Now, if you know anything about American politics, well, from the 1940s, you may remember that Wendell Willkie was a presidential candidate in the 1940 election. He didn't win. But I'm going to be staying in the family home, which I understand was recently renovated. It's going to be put up as a bed and breakfast. And so I'm really excited having I love staying in historic homes that have been turned into small lodgings like this. It's walkable to the festival, so it's ideal with respect to my needs over the course of this, and of not having to invest more than I already have in attending the festival. So time and transportation expenses. This is just it is icing on the cake. It is really, really a wonderful opportunity to be a part of this. There's not a website for the house yet where you can do some reservations, where you can make reservations. I don't know when it will actually be open to the general public. I'm going to be, photographing the interiors. I'll be sharing with it. The current owner of the house, who is a descendant of Wendell Willkie, is going to be there over the course of the weekend, and I'm going to have an opportunity to learn firsthand about the house's history and all that kind of, and its place within Rushville and Wendell Willkie's place within Indiana politics and things like that. And so that's just a lagniappe to just on top of everything. It's just fills in an opportunity for what's going on. But I do have a link to the Wikipedia entry for the page. There's not a whole lot there. It has been on the National Register of Historic Places for a little over 30 years, and it was built in the early 1870s. So this has got everything that I'm looking forward to when it comes to thinking about a great place to stay. And if there is information about reservations that you can make, if for some reason you're going to be in the area, I will be adding them, not to this page, not to this episode, but when I get back from my travels, then this is going to be on Tuesday, the 2nd of December, I'm going to be doing a wrap-up episode. So because of the size of the festival and the way it's structured, I'm going to have an opportunity to be able to interact with a whole lot of people that I haven't met before, makers, either chocolate makers or confectioners, and I'm going to have a lot to say about what went on there, and to really have an opportunity to interact with people on the town council, people on the local tourist board, all these kinds of people, and talk about what's going on. So I think that's one of the things that interesting me really most about the nature of this festival is that what chocolate can do, right, as a magnet for tourism. All right, and how does that affect the way a town feels about itself? Can it be a generator of significant interest and income and things like that? So I will be going into those conversations. And one of the reasons why it sort of like comes top of mind is that there is a proposal that there be a chocolate and tourism component at the upcoming Chocoa in February. And so this is top of mind for me. If you're interested in the topic, chocolate and tourism or tourism on cocoa farms, that's going to be something that will be discussed. And maybe you want to think about going to Amsterdam in February. So I'm involved in a bunch of these things, and it's all coming together in very, very interesting ways. So I will be updating this, adding links to the Instagram accounts for some of the people who are involved. If you are interested in connecting with the people who will be exhibiting, I remember seeing that if we go take a look at the vendors page, that each one of these is a link to the websites for each of the companies that are listed here. And so you can find out more about them. I hope to have samples and taste all of them, and taste samples live when I'm back on the 2nd of December. Hopefully they'll last through Thanksgiving. Hopefully they will last through Thanksgiving. And that's pretty much all that I want to do today. I just want to preview the festival to let you know. I wanted to do something. I don't want to miss 4 episodes in a row. I wanted to get something in the can. I don't think I will be doing an episode on Friday because it's the first day of the festival, and I think I'm going to be busy. I'm not going to have an opportunity to do it. I don't know what kind of Wi-Fi and other resources are going to be available in the Wilkie house or elsewhere for me to stream an episode. And then I am going to be traveling and with family for Thanksgiving, and then traveling back from Massachusetts on the day after Thanksgiving, on Friday. And so won't be able to hold an episode then. And with that, I mean, that's all I got for today. Probably the shortest ever episode. Well, it is the shortest ever episode of Pod Save Chocolate so far. I want to again point out that this is the homepage of The Chocolate Life. It'll look a little different when you come to this because the post for this episode will be featured in the top rail. But you can go and you can go and you can look through previous classifieds, all the episodes of Pod Save Chocolate. If you're interested in listening to Pod Save Chocolate in audio podcast form, here's the page where you can go and do that. And you will be able to, if you're listening in audio or watching and following along, you will be able to, once I have posted this post, which I'll do before this goes live on Tuesday, once that all is done, you'll be able to follow along with all the links that I posted and showed you in today's episode. And with that, Thanks everybody for being here today. Thanks for being patient. Thanks for liking this video, subscribing to the PodSafe Chocolate channel on YouTube, for becoming a member of The Chocolate Life. And in closing, remember that if you're working with chocolate and you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Until the next time, everybody, ciao.